What's good, everybody? It's your boy Co from the Loh podcast, coming back with another episode after some exciting football game play. And of course, I got my boy on the side of me, MK. What it do? What it do?
Very happy to be here, man. Like you said, it was some great football, great year, honestly, because it's pretty much over with now. So
How you feeling, bro?
we're good. Ready to see Mahomes three-peat. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, we're gonna get into the predictions, but it just ain't no picking against Mahomes. So before we get into prediction everything, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. We're 300. We're not even 300. We had 798 subscribers. We're 202 away from 1,000. So let's get to 1,000. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and make sure y'all subscribe to my boy MK Podcast at MKS. Is it underscore world or MK dot world? How is it?
It's, on YouTube, it's just MK's world. Like,
MK's world. Okay. I be getting that mixed up with the Instagram. So starting off with it, we're going into the NFL Honors Awards. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm low-key heated. The first award we starting off with is NFL Comeback Player of the Year. The finalists are Joe Burrow, Sam Darnold, J.K. Dobbins, Christian Gonzalez, and Damar Hamlin. Now, before I let MK get his thoughts out, I'm gonna say this little piece right here. Sam Darnold, cool. I have no argument from him being there. I'm cool if he even wins the award. He took a Vikings team that, in my opinion, really had no business being anywhere close to the playoffs, and I didn't even have him starting. I had him getting benched and JJ McCarthy taking over. J.K. Dobbins, cool. Christian Gonzalez, cool. My boy was already might would have won Rookie of the Year, defensive wise. Came back and now he's in the comeback player finalist on the New England Patriot team. I'm cool with that. Love CG. Damar Hamlin, I got a problem with that.
yeah,
What
that's the
happened to him is tragic. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna be a hater. What happened to him is very tragic. I don't wish that on nobody, my worst enemy, friends, family. I don't wish that on nobody. What happened to him. But I hate to say it, it's kind of seemed like a charity case at this point, putting him in an award, and he's not doing that much on the field.
yeah,
And Joe Burrow, I know like just my MK especially, I'm just like a Joe Burrow hater. I don't got no problem with Joe. Joe's a great quarterback. I won't take away from him. But I'm not finna sit here and say he need to be comeback player of the year. My two, to replace DeMar Hamlin and replace Joe Burrow, Russell Wilson needs to be in the conversation. Bryce Young needs to be in the conversation. How you feeling, okay?
um, Aaron Hamlin, like 100% should not be there because I mean he almost won it last year. It was between him and Joe Flacco. I think were the two finalists or like the two highest voters, and it's like how can you be comeback player of the year 1 year and then the next year you came back and like it doesn't really make sense. I feel like they're just basically giving him like a lifetime achievement award at this point. It doesn't really make sense that he would be there. And then as far as Joe Burrow, yeah, we definitely disagree on that one. Because I feel like that's like textbook what you do to be comeback player of the year. I mean, he got hurt in the season last year and missed the
Half
rest
of
of
y'all forgot he was hurt. Let's talk about that. Half of y'all forgot the dude was hurt.
I mean, that's true, but I mean, that don't change the fact that he was like for the voters and everything. Like he was hurt, missed the rest of the year, came back this year, and I mean, led the league in all passing stats. So like, I don't really know how much more you would need to do to be considered in the running for comeback player of the year. Like you wanted to get hurt earlier in the year, like
It's not really that. I just feel like everybody else make a better case for comeback player of the year than Joe. If we go out what usually comeback player is, everyone makes a better case than Joe Burrow, in my opinion. Bryce Young got benched by Andy Dalton. But a lot of us thought he wasn't finna do no good. A lot of us thought he was finna get traded, go to another team, or it was just done for Bryce Young. He was gonna be a backup quarterback. Bryce Young came back, had a great rest of the half, finished a great rest of the season, finished off strong, looked like a starting quarterback, literally had a bright future, and now they're not worried about trading or getting rid of Bryce Young. Russell Wilson, he had, in all honesty, we felt like Denver did him wrong. When he went to Denver, he wasn't good. His years have passed him. He came to Pittsburgh. He took the job from Justin Fields, kept the job from Justin Fields. Now, I don't like the media twist on it, because with the media, 1 week it's the entire offense, 1 week it's just the quarterback, 1 week it's just the wide receivers. And you can't, you just got to pick one and stick with it, in my opinion. I feel like each one, if we go off the story of a comeback player, each one of them make a better case than Joe. Joe was hurt, and Joe is a great quarterback. But I don't feel like Joe made it to where it was either a leap of anything. But I just feel like he picked up where he left off. There was nothing to come back from. If Patrick Mahomes get hurt like Joe did, and they come back and go win the Super Bowl, we're going to come back player of the year?
It's just that most years there's not an injury. Like, I remember when Keenan Allen had tore his ACL, when he came back the next year, he won it just because most of the time, yeah, it's not an injury. It's somebody that kind of got written off and comes back, like a Geno Smith or like a Joe Flacco. But if there's an injury, then yeah, I mean, they came back from the injury.
I just feel like the stories make it better for the comeback. And I feel like comeback player of the year, that's one award to where you can look at it statistical wise, but you also look at it like the lore and the story wise compared to like MVP and offensive player of the year and all that. I feel like comeback player, it plays a little, that we're being real. That's really the only reason Damar Hamlin is in this.
That's
story
true.
wise.
That's true.
I feel like that's the only award that plays a little more, the sob story part of it, or where they came back from. I feel like Russell Wilson and Bryce Young, and I'm not trying to sound biased because both of them are my guys, but I just feel like both of them can make a better case of what they came back from, and you can both agree that compared to Joe Burrow, it was more improvement than Joe. I don't feel like Joe was an improvement.
That's true. I'm not arguing that at all, but I don't think that's what it is. I think it's just that most of the time there's not really an injury where somebody comes back the next year and continues to play at a high level. But like I said, I mean, I remember when that happened with Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen was always a good receiver, and then when he got hurt, he came back the next year, they gave it to him. But it's just sometimes, or not even sometimes, most of the time, it is like a Joe Flacco or a Geno Smith that ends up getting it. So I think it just depends on the year. Like, I think you see both ways, like where it's sometimes it's just a story, other times it's an injury. And I don't think we could discount the fact that Joe came back from an injury just because there's people like Damar Hamlin. I think they both have, well, I disagree with Damar, but I think both criteria fit. I don't think one is like better than the other per se as far as like story versus injury. I think they both, because it's not an improvement award. It's not in no way is any of the criteria about improving. Now you can make your own.
It'd be most improved.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can factor that in if you want to, but like that has nothing to do with the actual criteria of the award. So I don't think that.
So are you saying Russ and Bryce are more improved players than comeback players?
Yeah. Yes, for sure.
So you saying an injury outweighs the most improved?
In this case, yes, because I'd say in this case, yes, because Bryce and Russ both started all of last year.
Whoa! Russ didn't.
Oh, he got benched at the end. You're right. He got benched at the end. They started 75% of last year, and then came back this year and around the same thing because Russ missed the first 4 games, and then Bryce missed like 3 or 4 as the backup. So I don't think that.
So Russ was hurt. Russ was hurt.
Yeah, he was, but I just think that in their cases, it was more about improvement than like coming back from something.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, yeah, those two is more about improvement then now, yeah, if that was the criteria, I'm 100% with you. Like they improved more than Joe for sure, but I don't think that's what it was about.
So my question is, would you replace Joe Burrow and DeMar with either of the guys' name I just said, or would you replace anybody out of them
I
two?
would replace DeMar, but not Joe.
Who would you replace DeMar with?
Russ.
Still not giving it to Bryce. I'm not mad at the Russ answer, but still not giving it to Bryce.
I think out of them, he's the one that kind of, especially like I said, he started all of last year. I feel like comeback player of the year is like what you did last year versus like what you're doing this year and how you like came back. His comeback was more about this season. Like he got benched in the middle of this season. So to me, that's not as much of a feat as Rush, who got benched last year, had to find a new team, and then came and led the Steelers.
Mm-hmm. All right. Bryce Young, since his return from being benched, 20 touchdowns, 5 rushing, 6 interceptions, 2,104 yards, 61.8 completion rate, and 88.9 passer rating.
Uh-huh.
It's great stats. I ain't gonna
Yeah,
lie.
he been balling since he came back. Like he had like a single bad game overall. He had a great last game against Atlanta. Like the future looks bright for him for sure.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised the way the NFL works. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a great year next year and they put him in comeback. I feel like they did offer this last year. If there's no major injuries, who got hurt this year? CMC.
Yeah, CMC, Brandon Ayuk.
They'll put him in there, but I don't know.
He has a good year though. Give it to him.
He gonna have a good year, but everybody put him in there. But you know how to. I feel like the media also plays a lot in this.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you put Joe Burrow on something, the media loves Joe Burrow. You put Joe Burrow on something, they're 9 out of 10. Everybody gonna support Joe Burrow now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I do feel like the media is not gonna support Brandon Ayuk as much if it's Bryce Young.
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, because I mean he did get benched this year, and then even when he came back, yes, he was playing good, but the Panthers are still the Panthers. I think in order
They won't
for
fault him for that. They won't fault him.
Huh?
They won't fault him for that. They won't fault him for the Panthers.
No, I'm saying though, I think in order for Bryce to be in the running for comeback player of the year, the Panthers have a record.
The Panthers gotta have above 500.
Yeah.
Now I feel like if he do that, he might be, unless CMC come back and have MVP numbers. I feel like Bryce Young might be automatic if he go do that.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad. As long as CMC doesn't do nothing crazy and Ayuk doesn't do nothing crazy. Because I can't really think of nobody else that got hurt.
So who's your winner
this year?
For a comeback?
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, who you got behind Joe? Sam, JK, Christian, or DeMar?
DeMar's last. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, we agree on that.
Joe, Sam, JK, Christian, and then DeMar.
All right. I'm going to tell the fans right now. I'm not hating, but I'm finna sound like a hater. Because I already said I feel like Joe shouldn't be in this. So I'm going to stand by my words. Sam, Christian Gonzalez, Joe Burrow, J.K. DeMar.
Okay. I mean, I'm not mad at that.
I got to stand by what I said. Get into Offensive Rookie of the Year. Our finalists are Brock Bowers, Jane Daniels, Malik Neighbors, Bo Nix, and Brian Thomas Jr. On three, let's go ahead and say who the winner gonna be. One, two, three. Jaden
Daniel
Daniels.
or
Who you got second?
Brock Bowers.
You think Malik make a case?
Yeah, I think all five of them had really good years. Um, I think they're like kind of these last couple of years with CJ Stroud and Jaden Daniels, they've been like all time rookies. Um, I think that if Brock and Malik were in other classes, they could like actually win it. Um, so I think Malik had a good year too. I know he had the reception record for like an hour, and then Brock Bowers broke it later in the day. So they both went. Yeah, I'll probably put Malik at 3. Yeah, I would say Jaden, Brock, Malik, Brian, and then Bo Nix.
I can get down with that. I can't argue it. I can get down with that. Um, since we're on this conversation, Jane Daniels versus CJ Stroud rookie year. Who you got?
Jaden Daniels. Um,
Agreed.
for one, the playoff success, they had to do the same thing. CJ went and beat Cleveland, and then they faced the 1 seed, and he lost. Which he didn't play a bad game, nothing, but he lost. But Jaden went and played the 1 seed in Detroit, who was like everybody's Super Bowl favorite, and beat them.
Beat
So
them
playoff success, more regular season wins too.
on the road also.
Yeah. So yeah, I think he just had like and I think Washington's team is worse around him than Houston is.
CJ Stroud. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I agree because playoff success does matter. He got to NFC Championships. He
Yeah.
got farther than CJ overall, and excuse me, we can like arguably say he had a worse team than the Texans. So I
Yeah.
would take CJ Stroud. I would take Jaden Daniels over CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
Defensive player of the year finalist. I don't want to talk about this, but Zach Braun, Miles Garrett, Trey Hendrickson, Pat Surtain, TJ Watt.
I'll go Pastor 10.
I agree. I agree. I think Zach Braun is very underrated and needs more shine than what he got.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really with Philly's defense, like on all 3 levels, like the line, the linebackers, and the corners. Like their defense as a whole is really good, and he's kind of, you could argue he's the one that like makes them go, because he's like the middle linebacker that kind of controls the middle of the field. So I can definitely get behind that.
So yeah, I do think that Zach Braun needs more shine. Do I think he's gonna win? No, and I also think he wouldn't win just because of the names he's surrounded by.
He's definitely like, out of the 5 of them, he's definitely the least of a household name for sure.
Yeah, right. You can argue maybe he can argue Pat Surtain, but the way the media surrounds Pat Surtain also, it would be a loss.
Yeah.
But I do agree with Pat Surtain. I ain't even be biased for TJ Watt. Do I think he should have been had a couple under his belt? Yes, but I'm not gonna be biased for TJ Watt. I do think Pat Surtain does win and take Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Player of the Year: Saquon, Joe, Jamar, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson. I'm ready to talk about this one. You want to
Oh,
start off?
now you can go first.
I'm just gonna rank. Saquon is one.
Mm.
Um, you're gonna hate me. Lamar is 2.
I'm not mad at that.
Derrick is 3. Jamar is 4. Joe is 5.
Now, I was with you.
You can put Joe over Derrick. Don't say you can put Joe over Derrick.
I honestly, that wasn't the issue. I was with you till you put Derek over Jamar. Um,
I
definitely.
would take interchangeable. That can be interchangeable. I'm not mad at it. That can be interchangeable. But I do think, and Derrick Henry is a running back compared to receiver, but I do just think Derrick Henry at times produced a little more than Jamar. Yes, he get the ball more, but I think at times he produced a little more. And when the game came down to it, Derrick can win in the game. But I'm not mad at it because I was thinking about it. I truly was.
Honestly, I'm kind of conflicted because this award never really makes sense to me.
Me either.
When I'm thinking about it, right?
Because this award is really just a runner-up for the MVP.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't really get how we differentiate the criteria for MVP and Offensive Player of the Year when it's the players.
Realistically, whoever wins MVP wins Offensive
They
Player
should,
of the Year.
but okay, it's like they should, but also most years it goes to the best non-quarterback. So it's kind of like I don't know. I don't really know how to make the criteria for this, but I'll go Saquon. Saquon is like if he doesn't win, he got like robbed.
Definitely. He's a legit conversation person for the MVP. So if he doesn't win Offensive Player of the Year, he's raw.
Saquon, Jamar. I see. This is where I get stuck. Like, I don't know if I value Lamar or Derrick Henry more in Offensive Player of the Year because I mean I think Lamar's gonna he's definitely gonna be top 2 in MVP voting. But it's like as far as Offensive Player of the Year goes, I don't
You
really
think Lamar's going to be top 2?
in MVP voting. MVP voting.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Saquon, Jamar. I guess Derek and then Lamar and then Joe Burrow, I guess. But the 3 through 5 is really interchangeable to me. But I think 1 and 2 should definitely be Saquon and Jamar Chase for sure.
I'm not arguing with it. I just don't know if I put Jamar over Derrick Henry, but at the same time, you know what? Yeah, I agree. I think I will put Jamar. Cause another my argument, Jamar carried Joe Burrow half the time, in my opinion. So I sound like a real Joe Burrow hitter right now. I promise y'all I'm not. I promise y'all I'm not.
Yeah, it's debatable.
But I do think Jamar can be 2. It's out of Jamar, Derrick Henry, 2 and 3. 2 and 3 is interchangeable.
Yeah.
1, 4, and 5 is locked for me.
Okay.
But but if we put it in that case of the non-quarterback, I honestly just feel like Saquon and Derrick is 1 and 2. And yes, they're the running back and they touch the ball more. That gives my Ashton Jensen and Travis Hunter argument. But I feel like the way they dominated the league as running backs right now, there's no. But okay, put it like this: who's the best 2 running backs in the league?
Them 2 for sure.
Who's the top 3 wide receivers?
Justin, Jamar, and I would put CD at 3 personally.
So you do have Jamar at your second.
Based off
that go my point right there. You had to think about it. And I feel like that question, if you ask anybody, is more either they're gonna say different answers, it's gonna be thought about compared to if I ask anybody who's the best 2 running backs, they might differentiate Derrick and Saquon, but they're gonna be 1 and 2.
Okay, but to be fair, it's the same thing with Jamar and Justin Jefferson, though.
I don't think everybody's gonna put Jamar at 2 or 1.
I think you'll be hard pressed to find somebody who don't got Jamar top 2.
I think they would have Jamar at top 3. Especially if we're going off of this year, I think they will have Jamar. I think that wide receiver conversation gets way more tricky than the running back conversation.
I think
when you talk about the top 3.
overall, yes, I think it's much deeper. But 1 and 2, nah. I think Saquon and Derek is just as much of a lock as Justin and Jamar.
I wish I had somebody to call right now on the spot and be like, okay, we're gonna have a fun little segment. Who can we call right now and ask to talk to receivers, NFL wise?
Jay.
I want this piece in class.
Hey man, what's going on?
What's good, bro? Hey, me and MK's on the podcast right now doing the episode, and we got a question for you, all right?
All right, cool.
Who would you say is your top 2 wide receivers in the NFL right now? Give me top 3. Give me top 3.
Right now,
Mm-hmm.
Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. Dang man, 3.
Exactly.
You haven't got to give me 3. You haven't got to give me 3. Who? So is Jamario 1, Justin your 2?
Justin 1, Jamar 2.
Okay. Who's your top 2 running backs?
Saquon at 1, and at 2.
Is Derek here, right?
I mean, I was gonna say him, but yeah, for right now, yeah, I'll say Derrick Henry.
Who else was you gonna put right there?
Well, I mean, like, I could have said Bijan, man.
Bijan at okay. That's biased. That's more biased than me. That's more biased than me, man. Bijan at 2? He's not better than Jameer Gibbs right now.
Yeah.
He was up there too. But there, Bijan, he's good, man. He's real good.
So what me and MK was arguing about, we were talking about offensive player of the year, and the conversation was it's easier to say who the top 2 running backs are than to say who the top 3 or 2 wide receivers are. You have to think about it more than thinking about it for the running backs.
Nah.
How do you feel about that statement?
So you have to think about the receivers more?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, to me, it's kind of clear cut. Yeah, like you say, I mean, Justin, Jamar, I put Amon-Ra in there too.
You put Amon-Ra for a CD?
And for the CD Lamb, yes.
Maybe this year.
This year, yeah. Like production wise.
Yeah, okay. I agree.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you, Jay.
Yeah, man. No problem. Hey, are y'all in the studio?
No, we online.
Oh, okay. You know what's gonna open that up, man?
Bro, I have no idea. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Okay. All right. Well, cool, man. We'll talk. All right.
All right, I'll text you.
All right.
Jay's Fifth Down Podcast, everybody. That helped your argument, but I still think that you have to think about it way more.
Nah. I'm not gonna say you have to think about the running backs more per se. I'm not gonna say the complete opposite of what you're saying, but I think it's just even. I think based off what we just watched, top 2 is Jamar and Justin, and then top 2 is Saquon and Derek. However you want to order them, like that's just top 2.
Yeah, I can't. I can't purely argue it because I would put Jamar in top 2. I don't think he's as easy as Derrick and Saquon, but I would put it top 2. So I can't make a strong argument not to say any otherwise. But getting into the end of our NFL honors of the segment, we're going to talk about MVP finalists. I'll let you start that one off. Josh, Saquon, Joe, Jared, Lamar.
Okay, so I was a little bit confused earlier when I said Lamar's going to finish top 2, and there was a little bit of a questioning from you. I think Lamar is actually going to win it, and then I put Josh at 2.
Time out. You think Lamar's gonna win MVP?
Because I don't think he's more valuable to the Ravens than Josh is to the Bills, but that's not what the award is about per se. For example, I remember in 2021, I'm like the biggest A-Rod fan but he shouldn't have won it over Derrick Henry, but he did because team success and he didn't turn the ball over. And I think that's the thing for Lamar. He had the 4th highest passer rating ever, only 4 interceptions, 40-plus touchdowns. Like the numbers he put up with the team success. Now, yes, the Bills had a better record than him, but part of that is the Ravens definitely had a tougher schedule, and B, the Ravens also beat them head to head. They're going to take that into consideration because it has nothing to do with the playoffs.
They're gonna do playoffs.
So, huh?
Yeah, I was agreeing with you.
Playoffs. So I think as far as the regular season goes and how efficient Lamar was, like I said, 4th highest passer rating ever, only 4 interceptions. With the running too, I think that's the thing why they're going to give it to him, because his whole career is, can he develop as a passer? Can he become better as a passer? And to only throw 4 interceptions and to have that good of a passer rating with his legs still being as effective as they are, they're going to give it to him. Now, again, like I said, I think Josh is more valuable to the Bills than Lamar is to the Ravens, because he has his best weapon in Stephon Diggs left, his second best weapon in Gabe Davis left, and he kind of had to be Superman all year, but they're not going to give it to him. Lamar's already won MVP twice, and this was his best statistical year, so they're just going to give it to him again. But I'll put Josh at 2, Joe at 3, and then it's
Hold on, you putting Josh 2, Joe 3?
I forgot Saquon is a finalist for that. I was just thinking quarterbacks.
I was gonna say, come on.
Josh 2, Saquon 3, Joe 4, and then who's the 5th finalist?
Jared Goff.
Oh yeah, he's 5 for sure. Yeah.
All right, if I was being biased, Jared Goff would be higher, but I can't agree Jared Goff is last. For me, Josh Allen's number 1, and not even taking into consider the fact of he's more valuable to the Bills, is what you said after that. All his weapons left.
Mm-hmm.
Josh literally had to be Superman and basically win the team by himself. We didn't know who his weapons was going to be. We didn't know how that defense was going to look, which is still arguably terrible.
Sure.
They basically went through a rebrand without going through a rebrand. They had nothing. All they had was Josh Allen.
Yeah.
People, the beginning of the year, the media was, if the Bills are going to have any success,
right. Yeah,
Josh Allen has to be the reason.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen was the reason. Now, he got to AFC Championship. We're not going to take that into consideration because they count the regular season.
Right.
Now, did they have a bad season? Excuse me. Did they have not a bad season, a harder season? The Ravens had a hard season than Bills? Yes, they did. But the first 4 games, the Ravens looked like they didn't belong anywhere in the playoffs. Lost against the Raiders, which I told you and my brother that was going to happen because Max Crosby was going to have a field day.
You did.
They lost against the Chiefs. Who else? Us?
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
I can't remember who else was in that.
I think those are their only early losses because they lost to the Chiefs. They lost to the Raiders.
Somebody else early, didn't they? Let me see.
I'm
off the dome right now. Nothing Google can't fix.
Yeah. Okay, they lost to. Yeah, no.
Raiders. They lost to the Browns.
Browns, yep, that's right. Yeah, the Browns, and then the y'all, and then the Eagles, and then they won everything else.
So, and they did win the head-to-head. They go to that consideration, but when we go into that that consideration, pull up something just so fact check that real quick. When they go into that consideration, you know they're gonna take in uh head to head quarterback play more than gonna take in actual game. Just because the Bills ain't have no lick of defense.
Uh-huh.
Now, going into my second, I don't have you had Lamar at second, right? No, you had Josh at second. Lamar's not even second for me. Second is Saquon Barkley. Now, is he gonna win? I do not think so because the MVP love being quarterback based. With Saquon Barkley being the only running back in here proves otherwise, proves rightly.
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
he's gonna win Offensive Player of the Year because he's the only running back in MVP finalists.
Right.
Now, I have him second. The production he did. Now, is he on a super team of the Eagles, offensive wise and defensive wise? Yes, but he has done most of the work for that Eagles team, running, breaking records. Could have broke more records if he didn't decide to, hey, I'm not really on that. Let my team, the backup running back can get what he want, hurling people backwards. He had that. Now, Lamar, he can come third for me.
Okay.
Lamar can be third. Lamar has had after the rough start, he had some success. But like you said, the passing game got better. The running game stood there with Derrick Henry. He had less to worry about, in my opinion, more
Okay.
than Josh.
Okay.
But I cannot take that from him because at the end of the day, he got what he got done in that regular season. Joe Burrow. Now Jared Goff, I feel like Jared Goff is discredited more because of the narrative of the team he's surrounded by. But compared to these other four, I would not give him the award.
Yeah, nah, he doesn't.
I won't let my bias speak for Jared Goff and the Lions. I would not give him the award just because Joe Burrow led in passing, has done more. Without Joe, the Bengals be looking very Dallas Cowboy-ish.
Yeah.
So Jared Goff would be last, Joe would be fourth, but I would not put Lamar second. Lamar would be second or first. He's not in top two for me.
I'm telling you, he's gonna win it, bro. I'm telling you
If
that
he's
right.
winning, I'm officially done. I'm already done with NFL honors because defensive player of the year. I'll be done with MVP.
I'm
I'll be done.
telling you that right now, he's gonna win it because, like I said, it's already. And I said the same stuff you did as far as Josh Allen goes. Like I understand the argument for Josh. He had to be Superman, but for Lamar to have his best year yet, he already won it twice. They're just gonna give it to him again.
So going into that, who do you feel has the most worry or stress on them to win a Super Bowl first? Josh or Lamar?
Lamar, because he's a 3-time MVP. Now, I think
I
Josh.
was I wasn't gonna bring MVP into this.
Oh well,
I was gonna say he can't beat Josh nor Pat.
yes. That's what I was about to say next. I was gonna say the difference is even outside of the MVPs, Josh shows up in the playoffs. He just comes up short, like team wise. It's not on Josh. Lamar.
Oh, say it again. Say it again. Because last year I had to get you to realize that.
I mean, I do that, but I'm not going to take away from the fact that the other quarterbacks make plays too. The difference with Lamar is he turns the ball over. For example, in the Bills and Ravens game, Lamar had more yards than Josh, but he turned the ball over twice, so Josh didn't have to do as much. Lamar, if you take care of the ball, it minimizes what you have to do. If you're turning the ball over, you have to make up for it, especially in a playoff. Turnovers kill you. Lamar's thing is that he turns the ball over too much. Josh, I mean, I'm not gonna say he necessarily came up short per se on Sunday, but like when the drives are there or the moment is there, like the Bills find a way to lose. But it's not because Josh is turning the ball over. Lamar objectively plays worse in the playoffs than he does in the regular season. So because he plays worse, it's like we're gonna look at him and be like, dude, you gotta play better. Versus Josh, like he doesn't turn the ball over anymore. Because that used to be a problem of Josh's. He would throw too many picks. But he cut down on the interceptions, and it's like the Bills gotta win. Versus the Ravens, especially the last 2 years, it's not even an argument. From 1 through 53, roster wise, they 100% have a better team than the Bills. But Lamar turns the ball over too much in the playoffs. I think he turned it over twice last year against the Chiefs, and then I know for sure he turned it over twice this year against the Bills. You can't do that.
I think Lamar. Yeah, Lamar. Not Lamar. You talking about Lamar or Josh?
Lamar.
Okay. Did Josh turn over last year against the Chiefs? He fumbled, right? He fumbled, recovered. I think he fumbled, recovered, and then that drop by Stephon.
Stephon definitely had the drop, and then the Bills also had a bad play. They went for it on 4th down with Damar Hamlin on a fake punt.
That's what. Okay, I knew it was something that led to a massive turnover because we was in your room watching it.
Yeah, but that was crazy though, because they had the fake punt with Damar Hamlin, which I genuinely don't understand what they were thinking.
Hey,
but
bro,
he fumbled and gave them the ball back. But then the Bills ended up missing the game time field goal, which again, that's what I'm saying. That's not Josh. Like, okay, you can argue he should have scored a touchdown, but like, dude, you get your field goal kicker in field goal range to tie the game and he misses.
I need you to record it because last year it was a complete opposite story. I was trying to get you to realize that it was never Josh. Josh just can't beat Mahomes, but it's also that team. That's the narrative I hate with the media. Josh is instead of them saying the Bills are 0-4 against the Chiefs, is Josh is 0-4 against Mahomes.
Right. Okay, so let me play devil's advocate. I do agree, especially at this point, because I'm seeing it year after year after year. It's not like Josh is playing bad, but quarterback like significantly has more impact on the game than any other position.
Agreed.
As far as winning goes, like not just making plays, but like usually the teams with the quarterback who takes care of the ball, puts the ball in the end zone, is the team that wins. And it's like because Josh, he makes it worse for himself because he beats him in a regular season. Because he finds a way to, like the scramble he had this year on that 4th down and when they played in the regular season, because he makes plays like that. So now in his playoff time, yeah, he's not necessarily playing bad, but whatever plays he needs to make to like actually win it, they're just not being made.
I do agree with that, but at the same time, is the argument I had for you last year was so many. I used the football and basketball analogy. Basketball, you down, Bron, Curry, KD, Harden, you take over the game, you win.
Right.
So many things has to go right in football.
Yeah, for sure. I think Josh Allen honestly has the best example of that when the divisional game when they played when he scored with 13 seconds left. Like you literally can't
you can't do nothing about that. I won us the game. I went out there and I threw you 4 touchdowns. I won us the game. I can't help that my defense didn't step up with 13 seconds left. And that's what I be trying to say. Yeah, yes, Josh can't. If you want to say Josh can't beat Mahomes, cool. But let's also say the Bills can't stop Patrick Mahomes when it's time to stop him. Because Josh is Josh perfect? No. But Josh makes the plays when they need to be made, and somehow in other ways he come up short. Because so many things has to go right.
Yeah,
I can't go out there and stop P. Ryan for getting the first down.
Right. I think it's a healthy mix of both. It's just because it's the quarterback position. Like it's gonna go down on the court. It's the same thing with Lamar. Now, granted, again, Lamar turns the ball over too much.
That's the difference. Thank you. Lamar plays significantly worse.
Ball over too much, but granted, if the Ravens lose, it's gonna be on Lamar's shoulders. Like if that's just how it's gonna work.
And I think also what messes up Lamar even more, Josh gets to the playoffs. We're not worried about Josh until he plays the Chiefs. We're all pick the Bills until you play the Chiefs. Now we're picking the Chiefs. With Lamar, we'll pick Lamar, but we can also get to the team and be like, I don't know about Lamar.
Yeah.
Like Bills versus Ravens, who you had?
I had the Ravens.
I had the Bills.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying though, and he gives you a reason to like question whether or not he's gonna.
And then when you asked me, who you got for Chiefs and Bills, I instantly said the Chiefs.
Sure.
So that's what I'm saying. Look, I think there's more certainty with Lamar. I mean, more certainty with Josh. Then when you get to Lamar, it's 70-30 compared to Josh 95-5.
Yeah,
That
for sure.
5 in Patrick Mahomes.
Right. Yeah, because Josh, I'm not even really gonna worry about his first year as a starter or first year in the playoffs. I mean, that happens. He was a rookie or not a rookie, whatever. He lost.
Then we got to worry about Lamar's, and Lamar.
Yeah, not worried. He lost to the Texans. Lamar lost to the Chargers. Whatever. But since then, I mean, he's lost to the Chiefs 4 times and lost to the Bengals once. And other than that, I mean, he's beat the Ravens twice. Anybody else you line up in front of him, like, he takes them down. So, yeah, with Josh, I was talking to Devin, and he said he thinks Josh just needs to go to a new team. I don't think the team. Yeah, I don't. I don't think the team's the issue because
team the issue. Okay. I don't think the team is the issue. I think the defense is the issue. And you want to consider that the team, then yeah.
Okay. I don't think that.
I just feel like if Josh moves, the only way. Now I do agree this. I seen I don't know if it was a TikTok comment, Instagram comment. It was something. Move Josh to the NFC, he would have been in the Super Bowl about 5 times.
Oh yeah, it would be him and Mahomes every year.
Yeah, every year. Now in that standpoint, if he was to go to another team, I feel like the only benefit is going to another team with a good defense. So like I said, if you want to blame the team fault for that, then I guess you could. But I feel like Josh showed us he can work with a mediocre offense.
Right.
He can't work with a mediocre defense.
Yeah, that's definitely true. But I don't even think because the issue is, again, it's nobody but the Chiefs.
It's Mahomes. It's Mahomes and the Chiefs.
Yeah, so I don't think going to a team with a better defense, because Mahomes doesn't really get, like, it doesn't really matter who he's playing from the standpoint of, yes, defenses have slowed him down. They can force turnovers. But at the end of the game, when you need a drive, like, he delivers. So I don't think that's really going to change nothing.
I do feel like, in the standpoint of the comment I just made about the NFC, I do feel like if that was to happen, then he'll get a little more credit of making it to the Super Bowl and have a Super Bowl appearance under his belt. But I feel like they won't credit they won't credit Josh more until he beat Mahomes in the playoff. I feel like he beat Mahomes first in the playoffs out of Josh and Lamar. That's who's going to get the credit.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that's what happened with Joe Burrow.
Yeah, so. And we're gonna talk about that too. We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's how it works. I mean, that's what happened with Joe Burrow beating Mahomes. People, and I'm people. I can't even cap. Hold him to a higher standard because, okay, you got it done. Eli in the Super Bowl against Brady, like, okay, Eli's the one that beat Brady. Like, that's just, like Josh said, to beat the champs, you got to beat the champs. And they didn't beat the champs. So until he does, like,
So I got 2 things I want to talk about. We're going to talk getting that Bengals conversation also, but since we're on the Chiefs, we're going to stay on it. So I'm gonna read you this. All right. I think the reason this is about I don't know if I'm saying this right. Obiso Creative. I got this off of Instagram, so I don't know if this is a tweet or what, but it's off Instagram Reel. I think the reason we're seeing so much hate for KC and Patrick Mahomes is they never truly dominate anyone. Brady's Patriots would have you down by 30 before the anthem was over, and you had to respect the dominance. Kansas City lets every team hang around and then a bad ref call, insane Mahomes play, or self-inflicted mistake later, they're knocking at the door of a third straight Super Bowl. This team went life and death with the Raiders 2 different times, which I don't really agree with that because that's a conference opponent. But 2 different times, yet are the AFC favorites. I can get behind dominance, but I can't. But I don't like black magic.
Um, that honestly reminds me of talking to my friend Mikey. He's like the biggest Chiefs hater. And personally, dude, if you get it done, you get it done. Like, I don't really care about the dominance and
A win is a win. That's your motto. A win is a
and
win.
and yes, okay, you want to bring up the refs. What gets me about that is that's not even a Mahomes thing. Like, that's just like stars get treated differently. Brady got treated differently. They literally made the tuck rule for Brady, like literally.
Yeah.
You want to go to the NBA, Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, they get different calls than everybody else. Yes, Mahomes gets some calls where it's kind of like, but at the same time, it's Mahomes. And also, to be completely fair, 9 times out of 10, like I can think about examples like, okay, the Falcons pass interference this year. All right, that might have resulted in a loss. I can't cap. The Bengals pass interference. Or when I say Falcons pass interference, I say lack thereof because they didn't throw a flag. The Bengals pass interference. Okay, if they don't call that, the Bengals would have won. Yes, there's games here and there. When it comes to the playoffs, let's not sit here and act like one call is why the Chiefs have won 9 straight playoff games. Like, they're doing that.
I think. What you done talking?
Yeah, I was saying they do that because they're the best team.
Okay. I think to attack one thing you saying about certain calls of Mahomes, I'm not gonna lie and say that he don't get certain calls, but also I do feel like Mahomes play with the calls and play around it. Like if I know they're gonna throw the flag, why wouldn't I at least try to go for it? Like you see in the NBA, if I flop or acted out just a little more than what it actually was, that whistle is getting blown.
Right, exactly.
So if I'm this close to out of bounds and you touch me even a little bit and I just flop out, that flag most likely gonna be thrown because one, I'm a quarterback. People tend to forget that. He is a quarterback. All quarterbacks get treated differently.
Yeah.
Two, his name is Patrick Mahomes.
Hmm.
So it's gonna be that with his own, struggles in itself. And one of my biggest things, back when I was helping coach high school football and stuff, and one of my biggest goals when it was going into games or just going into anything, when me and you used to go to the rec all the time playing basketball, don't put ourselves in a bad situation to lose. Or don't put it to where somebody else can make the call for us. So if I'm going against the Chiefs, so let's say I'm the Eagles right now going against the Chiefs. My goal is to win by 10 or more.
I said the same thing. Yes.
My goal is because if I win by 10 or more, the ref cannot dictate the game. 2 scores I have to win by. I have to win by 10 or 14 because the ref can't dictate the game. If I'm anything 7 or under, I might well consider lost. Because for one, if you want to use you're playing against the refs, you put yourself in that situation. For two, you're going against a team that's known for making comebacks. So why would I put myself if it's 40 seconds left and then Patrick Mahomes is literally known for coming back in 13 seconds? Don't put myself in a bad situation to where I know he can make a great comeback. I have to win more than what I'm saying. So that's my whole thing going into games like that. If I'm going into a game, Shiloh versus Buford back in high school, we have to win by more if we want to win that game, or if we leave it into home field advantage team or the refs' hands, we pretty much might well consider it our fault because we let them dictate the call instead of dominating or winning by more than we should. Some games just gonna come down to it. But that's the mindset you got to have. I have to win by more than that. If I don't, I might well consider the game lost.
And another thing, because this low key is what sparked it. The 2023 Super Bowl, when they played the Eagles, this goes back to what you're saying as far as like when you let it come down to a call, you're setting yourself up. That holding or I don't know if it was holding or PI, but when Patrick Mahomes
by Gardner Johnson.
Yeah, when he held Juju's jersey.
No, Bradbury.
Yeah, Bradbury when he held the back of Juju's jersey.
Yeah.
Now people are saying, okay, you can't let the Super Bowl, let him play. At the end of the day, he pulled his jersey.
In the day, if I make the call, it's the call.
That's what I'm saying. And so if it's 35-35 in the Super Bowl and you pulling somebody's jersey, now was it a kind of like it was barely holding, but it was holding.
Can you let it slide? Yes.
Yes. But
at
you
the
made
same
the play.
time,
Yeah. I was gonna say you made the play, you held his jersey. Now you put us in a position, we down 3. Now we gotta go make a play. If Jalen Hurts, and I'm not putting the game on Jalen Hurts, but I'm saying if Jalen Hurts doesn't fumble and we're up 7 more, because Kansas City scored off of that.
Yeah.
If we're up 4, now it's a different ball game. The plays early, that's the thing with playing the Chiefs. You can't make mistakes early in the game because then at the end of the game, those mistakes come back and bite you.
Yeah, we talked about it last year with the 49ers. We said for the 49ers to win, they better score almost every single play.
Exactly.
They better score almost, because if they don't, it's gonna be a long night for them. And that's just the thing with playing the Chiefs or teams with that caliber. I like how you brought that Bradbury call. Even if let's say they didn't call it, now we're gonna say, oh, he got held. They made that call. It's a 50-50 coin toss.
Yeah.
Because when it was it a little bit, yeah, but he did do it.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is jumping up and down, pointing. Are you really finna sit here as a ref? You finna sit here and go against Patrick Mahomes in the NFL? Yeah. Now your job on the line. That's like going against LeBron.
That's why, and that's why I brought up like LeBron, Kobe, Jordan. Like it happens to people act like what's happening to Mahomes is just like one of a kind. Like it's what happens with the stars, bro. It's what happens.
It's just what happened. I'm saying you can't put yourself in that situation. I have to win by more than 10. If I don't win by more than 10, but I might well consider myself lost.
Yeah.
If I'm Jalen Hurts and that score is 7 and under, and it's a chance I don't go back on that field, I got my towel on my disc.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not. If Mahomes gets the ball in the fourth quarter and it's a 1-score game, that's what the Chiefs.
Don't let it go to overtime. Please don't let it go to overtime. Please don't let it go to overtime. Because it's over. Oh, it's over.
The only way it's not is if Philly gets the ball and gets a 2-point conversion and Kansas City has to match it. But that's
I'm still gonna be right there talking about something. Well, in my head, Kansas City finna get it. They finna get both.
Yeah, they gonna match. Yeah, so
it's AC.
Yeah,
you better. If Philly goes up by 10 with a minute left, the game is good.
Yes, Philly. Now I will say this: Kansas City, historically, they don't get off to the greatest starts.
They don't.
The thing is, though, their defense plays good enough to keep them in the game. If you're Philly, you got to run it down there. Saquon needs to have 26, 27 touches and
almost close to 200 yards.
Yeah,
you need by the MVP game.
Yes. Saquon. See, that's the thing. If Philly comes into this game and they try to make it Hurts versus Mahomes, they're gonna lose.
They're gonna lose. They're gonna lose off rip.
If they don't switch up and they keep giving the ball to Saquon, that's how you win the game. If Kansas City comes out slow and we can go up by 10. Basically, what they did the first time they played, but the difference is you can't punt. That game in 2023, literally the difference was the fumble in the first half, obviously. And then in the second half, the Chiefs didn't punt the ball once, and the Eagles punted it one time. If the Eagles would have scored, it's a different ball game. So once the Eagles go up, they got to stay up and keep putting it on them. If they let the Chiefs defense, like let's say the Chiefs don't get off to the greatest start, if they let the Chiefs defense kind of slow them down, once the Chiefs get going, it's over.
And that's why I said for the game to be sealed, The Eagles have to be up by 10 with a minute left.
Yeah.
Anything above that, the game over. The game out would be start raining red confetti and everything else. Because the reason I said that, I wanted to say they need to go into the halftime with the lead, but
It don't matter.
The lead is not safe with KC.
Yeah.
They did it against the Eagles. They did it against this year. They did it against
San Fran. And
San Fran. They did it against San Fran twice.
Yeah, every game in that first Super Bowl run, they were down.
They down, come back. So if you're the Eagles, you either better dominate early or you better limit KC touches.
Yeah.
You better keep your possession time maybe about almost 7 minutes.
Right. That's the only way. Like I was saying, if I'm Philly, I normally don't do this. Like under any other circumstances, I literally would not do this. If I win the coin toss, I'm receiving that, and we're gonna go put 7 points on the board. Because
I'm usually the defer guy.
Yeah.
I want ball second half.
Yeah.
But that's the thing though. Do you want Pat to get the ball second half?
In this case, yes, because I don't want to play from behind, and I'm not giving Mahomes the ball first. I'm not. I'd rather, because I would bet on Saquon. Like if I'm Philly, I got all the confidence in the world.
Who won the coin toss the first time? The Eagles did.
Mm-hmm.
They won the coin toss first because they had a touchdown by Smith that scored first.
He didn't score at first. I think it was Jalen Hurts.
Touch push. It was there a quarterback sneak.
Yeah, and then Kelsey matched it. And
Kelsey matched it. Smith had about 60 yards the first drive. That's what it was.
And so if I'm Philly, I'm taking a ball. I'm like, dude, we got a 2,000-yard rusher. I don't care if all 11 are in the box. We're handing him on the first play.
How you defensive scheming them?
If I'm Kansas City?
No, if you the Eagles, how you defensive? How you scheming getting Patrick Mahomes?
Keep him in a pocket. Mahomes is a very, very underrated like scrambler, especially
agreed.
In the playoffs. It's ridiculous. It's like he never gets caught, but he's not that fast. But he just doesn't get caught.
He run like a bigger Kyler Murray.
Yeah,
repeat that. He run like a bigger Kyler Murray.
They take them like baby steps.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my thing. If the Chiefs are gonna beat us, it needs to be Mahomes in the pocket. If he gets on the perimeter and he's extending plays, and then Travis Kelce's out here pirouetting, you're gonna lose. But if you gotta keep him in the pocket. And if he beats us like that, if he beats us like just a Tom Brady type of game, I'll take my L. But we can't let him make those extracurricular plays that make him special. We can't. We got to limit that.
So we kind of already gradually went into the Super Bowl conversation and talk. Your prediction is Kansas City, right?
I'm gonna say unfortunately, because
hey, just be like me. I got Kansas City winning, but I'm rooting for the Eagles.
Yeah. I want to see I'm a Saquon guy. I have been.
Yeah.
So I love to see Saquon get one, but like
I want Jalen Hurts to get one.
Yeah.
You know how I feel about Jay Hurts. I want Jay Hurts to get one.
I would love to see Saquon get him one, especially with the year he had. But like, I can't. They have literally won 9 straight playoff games. Like, how can I?
The Chiefs is never. I would comfortably say this: the Chiefs in the past couple of Super Bowls has never been the better team.
Right.
It has been the more experienced and winning team.
Yep. When they played Philly the first time, especially that was the first year without Tyreek too. Like their weapons weren't really there. Because they didn't have Rashee Rice yet. They just came out, like you said, they were the more experienced team.
Yeah, that's when they still had Kadarius Toney actually doing something.
Right. Everybody stepped up in the second half. Kadarius Toney had that huge punt return, and then was it him or Juju that had the 2-point or the touchdown on the little? It was him and Sky Moore where they ran like this and they came back out. It was him and Sky Moore. It just came down to like coaching. You know that there's Andy Reid is a great offensive mind. Like there's nothing you could when you got receivers as fast as Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore running to the line and they sprint back out to the corner, like they're gonna win that every time. So, yeah, they haven't really been the better team. And to be honest, they're probably not the better team this year either. But
They're
hey,
not.
you got
They're not. They're not.
yeah.
Nah. I think the only thing Kansas City has better than the Eagles are the quarterback and the tight end.
I would say I wouldn't say the unit as a whole. I think Philly's defensive line is better, but Chris Jones is better than anybody
Chris,
that
yeah, but not yet. Stuff like that. I just defensive wise, I just count
the
as a
unit.
unit.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
yeah. Philly's
yeah,
line,
yeah, yeah.
Philly's line
I
is
just
better.
count. I just count the unit. Like
Okay,
tight end and quarterback is a single person. Everything else, I'd be like wide receiver core
okay.
better, DB core. Yeah, I don't single out because we know AJ Brown is the best receiver in the Super Bowl. But now, who you gonna call the second best? Are we going with D Hop or are we going with Devontae Smith?
At
And
this
I only
point,
say that now because you make an argument because D Hop is less productive.
right. I was gonna say at this point I would say Devonta, but like obviously like prime for prime D Hop. But right,
Yeah,
I mean,
D-Hop.
but the thing is though with Kansas City, their receivers like show up. Like
They do.
and the I forgot Juju was on the team last week, but he had those. I was like, I like Jim when he caught the first one. I was like, I forgot this dude was on the team.
Juju got like 3 touchdowns this season, if I'm not mistaken.
I
Because I
don't.
remember when he went back. Because
Yeah.
I was hoping he came back to us.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Because he was on New England, right?
Yeah. Or it was it New England? It might have been New England. He was somewhere. He might have been a free agent. He was somewhere not playing, pretty
Yeah.
much. And I wanted him to come back to us, but he didn't. Was he on New England? I know he played for New England, but was he on New England last? Teams Juju Smith Schuster. Yeah, he was on Patriots last.
So yeah, it's
But
just
he wasn't doing a lick of nothing. He might well just been there getting cardio.
right. So yeah, that's my thing with the Chiefs is even though their receiver core isn't as talented as Phillies, yeah, Andy Reid is gonna put them in positions to make plays and like
staff. I think KC coaching staff is better. I do. I forgot about that. I want to think about players. Their coaching staff is better.
Yeah, Andy Reid, he's probably currently the best coach in the league. Steve Spagnuolo is one of the best defensive coordinators like ever. They're gonna put themselves in a position to win. I saw Tom Brady say this because he was talking about Kansas City's dynasty versus theirs, and he was like, Kansas City is similar to us in that if you want to win, you're gonna have to beat us. We're not gonna beat ourselves.
Yeah, they're not gonna do that.
Yeah, so
they might get the ball, but they go catch the next one.
Yeah, so if Philly wants to win, they have to come out, set the tone. Like I said, Saquon 25 plus touches, and don't make it Hurts versus Mahomes. Don't if they do that, yeah, they're gonna set
Who you guys your MVP?
Mahomes.
If Eagles win, who you got? I'm sorry, I should specify.
It should be Saquon. If they're gonna win, it should be Saquon.
And second would be Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, just because I think in order, in my opinion, Philly's best chance of winning is ball control, like you said, like 7-minute drives and just leaning on the run game. So I think that the game script will allow for it to be Saquon. I don't think Hurts will have a bad game per se, but I just think in order for them to win, like it's gonna have to be a Saquon game.
Yeah. I just feel like if I'm Eagles, that play clock is always at 1 second.
Yeah.
Is that one? Like I wouldn't be mad if I even get a couple delay games.
Yeah.
I'm leaving that thing by 1 second.
Yeah, you want Mahomes to have the ball as little as possible for sure. For sure.
Because Mahomes might make a mistake, but once he get going, it's hard to stop. it's hard to stop. But if I'm the Eagles and defensive wise for the Eagles, I'm containing him. I'm having one QB spy at all times. I do not care if it's 30 15.
Yeah.
Somebody's watching Patrick Mahomes at all times.
That's why I was saying you got to keep him in the pocket. If he gets on a perimeter and he starts making those throws that, only he and like Josh Allen can make, that's what changes the game. If he's in the pocket, we got to live with that. We got to trust our coverage, especially because Philly at all three levels is good this year. You got CJ, Gardner Johnson, you got Darius Slay, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. Like you just got to trust your defense. You got to trust your defense.
You got to, because if you don't, you will lose that game. We got to get up out of here. One thing I wanted to ask you about is Joe Burrow and the championship run they had. They didn't win, but the championship run they had, also being the Chiefs. Do you feel like this is including yourself? You're not a Bengals fan, but this is including you. Do you feel like Bengals fans and Joe Burrow supporters hold on to that a little more than they should?
Oh, for sure. Because the reason why at this point is because like you haven't done anything since then. And like you said, I put myself in that category because I consider myself a Joe Burrow supporter. It was cool when he first did it. Obviously, he was the only quarterback outside of Brady to beat Mahomes. Okay, cool. Then the next year, we lost in the AFC Championship. Good game. Okay, cool. We made it to back-to-back AFC Championship appearances. Last year, you missed the playoffs because Joe gets hurt. Well, I mean, you might have missed it anyway, but Joe got hurt. Okay, cool. So now it's like this year, we're supposed to be back. They were talking all year about the Chiefs don't want to see us in the playoffs, blah, blah, blah. You got to make it to the playoffs. So I think at this point, forget the fact that you beat them in the past. How about we get back to the playoffs?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't got too much to say. You know how I feel about Joe Burrow and them. I just, as a Steelers fan, we make the playoffs every year. We ain't got to worry about being Patrick Mahomes. I'm gonna hold on to making the playoffs every year. We can at least get that done.
Do you think they're gonna re-sign T, or you think he's gonna leave?
Higgins?
Yeah.
He's gone.
I don't know.
He's gone. I think T Higgins about to. I think he about to do the what's my boy?
Tyreek?
Nah, the way what's the linebacker name that came to us?
Oh, Patrick Queen.
Patrick Queen. I think he about to do Patrick Queen switch.
You think he gonna go to Pittsburgh?
I think if it's not us, it's somebody in the AFC North. They said the Ravens going for him and we going for him.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I don't know what I would do if I was Cincinnati, because that offense is just on another level when T's out there. Like, for sure top 5 offense when T's out there.
I don't think he get used enough.
Huh?
I don't think he get used enough.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah, I mean, he's a genuine one who just plays behind Jamar Chase. So like,
yeah, it's just hard for that case. You should play behind Jamar Chase, but I also feel like it's the coach's fault.
Okay.
Because I feel like if they did what Philly does, Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, it would be better.
Philly's different though, because I mean, to be fair, T gets more opportunities than Devontae does, but it's different with Philly because they're so run heavy that when they do pass it, it looks more efficient. Like Devontae gets, we're running play action and Devontae gets a crossing route 30 yards down the field, versus with T and Jamar, the defense is like keying in on them, so it's harder to get them opportunities. Versus Philly, you can kind of to get AJ and Devontae open.
That's my thing though, and yeah, I do agree with you on that. But it's like as the number 2 receiver, I should get more looks when I'm making them plays because there's so much attention on Jamar.
Okay.
And I'm not discrediting Jamar because when Jamar about the plays he make, but sometimes I do watching the Bengals is Jamar or nothing.
Yeah.
I have a great number two that's arguably number one on my other side.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
If AJ Brown is locked up or is he struggling, we're giving Smith the ball. It doesn't matter. He's getting the
Yeah.
ball.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like with AJ, there are some weeks where he'll have like 2 or 3 targets. Jamar, like, it's 10 every week. Like, we're gonna
It's 10 every single game. And it's 10, like a perfect comparison. Michael Pittman Jr. He had to get 10 every single game. Last year, Adam Thielen, he had to get 8 to 10 every single game. Jamar doesn't need 8 to 10 every single game.
Yeah, but he's getting it though. Yeah.
He's getting 8 to 10 every. He's getting about 15 targets with 18 to 10 receptions.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's Jamar. Top 2, top 3 receiver, arguably number 1. We can't discredit him for that. But at the same time, as a coaching staff, I have another receiver on my other side that can do the same thing, just at a lesser, not too much of a less, but a lesser level than Jamar.
Yeah, he can.
That's why I feel like the Eagles does it better. I don't disagree with you. They are run heavy, so it makes it better. But at the same time, I'm gonna get Devontae the ball. I have played. There we go. I have played design for Devontae.
Yeah, they're more intentional about getting Devontae the ball. Yeah.
They're more intentional about getting T Higgins the ball. So I think if it's not this year, T Higgins is either gonna like if I'm gonna keep going out there, either you're gonna pay me some more, or you're gonna give me some more targets, or at least get me. Well, I was gonna say get me like more incentives or signing bonuses with it, but I mean at the same time, the way they play style is, they might not reach that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's just tight because they paid. Well, they're gonna have to pay Jamar, like, because they didn't pay him last year. It's gonna be even more this year. So they're gonna have to pay Jamar. They already paid Joe, and it's like our defense is so bad that, like, can we really afford to pay T when the obvious issue is the defense? So I don't know what I would do.
If I was the Bengals, and sad this is to say, T Higgins walking.
Yeah.
I'm about to go giraffe or receiver.
Okay.
I'm about to go build that defense.
Yeah. Yeah, the defense needs to be the top priority, with or without T. Like, if you keep T, okay, the draft is like straight defense and maybe some O-line, but the defense is the top priority. If you don't keep T, okay, yeah, free agency, we're nothing but defense. Like, the defense is if they can get their defense together, I mean, if their defense would have been together, they probably would have been in the playoffs this year. But even if we're not going to look at this year, just moving forward, they should be okay if they can get the defense together.
I think it's really better they didn't make it. Cause I just feel like it would have been they would have got the Bills first.
They probably wouldn't have beat the Bills.
They would have got the Bills first, or they would have got, to be real, the only team they probably could have beat. Cause I don't think even if they would have seen us, I don't think they could have beat us. The only team that was in the playoffs right now, I don't think they're beating us. And they had to come to Pittsburgh, I don't think they was beating us. They barely beat us the second time.
Yeah, but like, y'all wasn't.
I think the only time, no, not time, the only team they was gonna beat is the Broncos.
Okay.
Maybe the Chargers. Maybe. Maybe. I don't think they'll beat the Texans. No, I don't think they beat the Texans.
I'm not even gonna speak on it just because, like, I mean, in the playoffs, it's just one game at a time. I think Joe Burrow can make some things happen, but also their defense is really bad. So like, I wouldn't be if they lose to everybody. Like if they would have lost to literally any of those teams, I'd be like, yeah, I mean their defense is trash. So
The only team that I can confidently say they beat is the Broncos. I don't think defense would have mattered. I think Joe would have lit them up.
yeah, I mean they almost lost to Denver in I think it was 15.
Yeah, but now we're talking about playoff Joe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like he can kind of keep you in the games. And to be fair, they never really got blown out this year. Like,
and that's my thing. That's why I'm saying they don't beat us. Because for one, you go in the Heinz Field. For two, y'all got playoff Joe, but we got playoff Watt. Do you really want to be on the other side of playoff Watt?
And they already don't have a line, so
already don't have one. And we were gonna get Highsmith back. Do y'all really want that?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We're gonna have a field day. So that's how I just feel about the Bengals. And I just feel like I personally will let T walk, and I'm gonna draft the receiver because even like I just said, they're not using T as effective as they should. So at least I can go get a rookie receiver, and he might be mad that he's coming to Cincinnati, but he's a rookie, so at that time I can control him.
Yeah,
and he's not gonna be too mad because for one, you ain't got the pressure of a Jamar. For two, you got Joe Burrow gonna get the ball.
You're right. All right.
And they have Chase Brown, which I'm not saying he's a terrible running back, but he's not like a top 5 running back, so you will get targets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it was times I felt like the dude, I don't know how to say his last name.
Yoshivas.
Yes, I'm not even going to try to say that. Out of respect, it was time I feel like he got more targets than T. Higgins.
Yeah, he had some games for sure. He had some games. Yeah.
So I just feel like at the time you're gonna let T walk, especially when he's the number one. Or if you don't let T walk, he's gonna start giving you all that Brandon Ayuk treatment.
Yeah. Yeah.
But just to wrap this, we did say we were gonna talk about some of the coaching hirings. Robert Saleh back as a defensive coordinator for San Fran.
I think Robert Saleh being back in San Fran, personally, I still think San Fran, like next year.
Is it Saleh?
Yeah, Saleh.
Oh, my fault, Mr. Robert. I said Saleh. Hey, Robert Saleh.
I think that next year, I'm not going to talk about the future of San Fran, but I think next year individually, if they can bring everyone back, I think they can be back in like conference championship contender mode. And I think when Robert Saleh was there, they had a great defense. And I don't think he lost his touch defensively. He just wasn't the best head coach in the world. But I think that he can make an impact because Fred Warner's still going to be there. Hufanga's still going to be there. Nick Bosa's still going to be there. So I think he can like help them make another run. I wouldn't count San Fran out next year.
I'm not counting San Fran out, but I don't trust San Fran, if that makes sense. It's just I'm tired of seeing the same old thing.
I trust
the same old thing with the same team.
I trust them more than anybody else in the NFC except for Philly.
I don't trust them more than the Lions.
Yeah.
I don't care about playoff before. I just don't, because the thing is, for me and San Fran, is they're like Josh Allen. They can't beat the Chiefs, but at the same time, they scrape out of playoff games like this.
Yeah.
So it's like it's the same thing like how we saying like one wrong call for the Chiefs, one wrong thing for San Fran. So it's like you already can't win a Super Bowl, in my opinion. What's stopping you from one wrong call? At least y'all not making the Super Bowl. Like at least with the Chiefs, they get in there. The Bills, they're getting there until they get to the Chiefs. San Fran, y'all are getting there. Ooh, okay, we got there. Okay, never mind. We're going back home.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't. The NFC as a whole, to me, hasn't really shown much to me that's like intimidating. Philly, yes. Jaden Daniels looks future as a quarterback. I mean, he looks promising for the future as a quarterback, but like Washington's team from top to bottom. And to me, Detroit still kind of got to show that they can get it done in the playoffs when it matters most. And that's why I lean San Fran, because yes, they haven't shown up in the Super Bowl, but I mean, they've made it 2 of the last 5 years. And kind of everybody else besides Philly is just like, nobody really has anything, because the last 5 Super Bowls have been San Fran twice, Philly twice, and then Tom Brady when he was on the Bucks. So until somebody else shows me something, I'm just like, I don't really trust none of y'all.
I think that's why I'm okay with the Lions, because the Lions' problems are very specific problems, if that makes sense. Last year, it was head coach making calls on fourth downs and stuff.
Okay.
This year, Jared Goff turned over the ball.
Yeah. And to be honest, the injuries on the defensive side too.
And on the defensive side, that too. Almost forgot about that. Injury on the defensive side. San Fran, Jordan Love don't make a rookie mistake. We should talk about that because your boy's starting to be real fraudulent. He's starting to be real fraudulent. You know what? Right after this, we're gonna talk about it. Jordan Love don't throw across his body. Maybe we looking at Jordan Love in there and not San Fran. If the Lions don't make this, it's like the other teams are beating themselves more than it is San Fran winning.
Okay, yeah. I
That's why I'm kind of more okay with the Lions, because there's specific problems with the Lions that, like, one thing was fixed, now another thing happened. San Fran is all right. Y'all got lucky and y'all got to the Chiefs. Y'all found out they're not gonna beat themselves. Like you said, they have to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
The Chiefs not beating themselves. Y'all beat teams that beat themselves.
Okay, I can get behind that.
That's why I'm a little more okay with the Lions than I am with the 49ers.
Okay.
Now, let's talk about Green Bay. Your boy fraudulent. Your boy starting to look real fraudulent. Your boy is starting to look. I told you, bro. I told y'all. Jordan Love is not there yet. I'm told y'all. The boy made a little success, and y'all thought that man was the future. Now, I'm not saying he's completely terrible, but he ain't there yet. He fraudulent. He ain't no Mike fraudulent. Jordan Love is real fraudulent. Jordan Love is fraudulent. Jordan Love can't show up in the playoffs. Jordan Love relies too much on this. When it's time for him to show up, he does not show up. The boy had a bad season in the beginning of the year. And now all of a sudden, when he had a good end of the year, now we're thinking he's the future. He did. The boy was ranked, what, 30 in NFL top 100? BS. The boy's fraudulent, Miles. I'm sorry, man. He was real fraudulent. He don't do something next year, you might need to start drafting another quarterback.
All right, that's crazy. But I'm going to be honest, like, okay. And you were a witness to this because we was like, hanging out and stuff at the time. The beginning of last year, I was like, who is this? Like, what are we doing? Like, Jordan Love is just not that guy. But then, the second half of last year, he really turned it around, led us to the playoffs. And to be fair, he did beat Dallas, who is like the playoff choker.
The fraudulent, Mr. Fraudulent.
That he probably got a little bit more credit than he deserved. But, hey, he did it. I was like, we good. He didn't really play bad against San Fran until the pick. So this year, I'm like, all right, we good. We went 11-6. And then
fraudulent. Hey, bro, I just want y'all to listen to me sometimes. I be hating. I don't hate. Only time I'm biased is when it comes to the Steelers. I'm biased all outdoors.
I don't.
But when it comes to actual football topics, I'm not biased. I'm just speaking real factual stuff. That dude is fraudulent. And the only reason I say if he don't win, I'm not saying win like the Super Bowl next year, but he better have some playoff success.
I'm gonna be honest. Personally,
I'll quit the job for quarterback and let them sit for 2 years.
yeah, that's true. I'm gonna be honest. Personally, I wouldn't even necessarily say he has to win a game per se, but like he can't have the type of performance where it's like we're looking at him and we're like, you are why we lost it. Like he turned the ball over 3 times. You can't do that. I think, and that's actually a thing. I don't know if I talked to you about this year, but I have been saying my problem with Jordan Love, and I was saying this all years, he turns the ball over too much. And I said this earlier when I was talking about Lamar. Turnovers in the playoffs hurt you more than they do in the regular season. If he don't know how to take care of the ball, that's just always gonna be a problem. Like I don't think it's like a talent issue or anything, but you gotta
he can ball. He can ball.
Gotta take care of the ball. And that's my thing, like being completely unbiased. I think he has the tools, he can make the throws. He's fairly athletic, but if you turn the ball over, like none of that matters. Got to cut that out. Like he got to.
He got to win. And the reason I say he has to win is because last year you beat Dallas. You got some credit from most. I ain't gonna say some, from most.
We was on him when he beat Dallas.
Yeah, from most. I didn't believe it because I don't care if it's the Bryce Young Panthers beating no, I can't even use Bryce Young. Who's another bad team?
Like the Titans or something.
Yeah, I don't care if the Titans went and beat the Cowboys. You ain't getting no hype from me because it's the fraudulent Cowboys.
For sure.
But you went to San Fran, and I'm gonna give you credit because you made plays. You didn't have a bad game, but at the same time, I had told you in AP this. I don't trust San Fran cornerbacks at all.
Okay.
So it's like if you go win that game, you did beat a great San Fran team. So I'm gonna give you the credit where credit is due. But also I don't trust San Fran DBs.
For sure.
Now this year you go and you just think up the bag.
Yeah.
So
That was
next year, let's say you gonna have a mid to good game, but you lose. Now you just don't have playoff success. Like he's in a bad situation overall. Because if he goes next year and stank up the bed, now it's the conversation we're having now. If he goes and he doesn't win, now now you can't win a playoff game. Right. He looking like two and them.
Yeah.
The thing is where Brock Purdy, his narrative was he has a team surrounding him. That's why he's winning. He went to the Super Bowl and arguably maybe could have been second MVP.
Yeah, no, he played a good game.
Because he had a pass into CMC. He had what's my guy that was going crazy?
Juwan Jennings.
I'm about to call him Jukins. Juwan Jennings. So it's like when can you start beating the narratives? And Jordan Love is just not there yet. Fraudulent.
Yeah. Again, it just goes back to, for me, because you can literally see it in both of his playoff losses. You just got to stop turning the ball over. I think if he does that, wins will come with it. So you got to start there. Forget, like, don't focus on when. Obviously, you want to win the game, but don't even just don't turn the ball over. Like, take care of the football. Like you said, against San Fran, you throw it across your body, game on the line, turn it over. This year against Philly, those picks were questionable. And yeah, you just gotta. I think if he stops turning the ball over, I'm more concerned with that than anything else. Like if he does that.
Go ahead, my fault. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying if you stop turning the ball over, you should be good. Like.
Yeah, I think. So, what do you think is the overall for the Packers? What can lead to more success? Just not growing.
receiver help. And
I've been saying that for the longest.
when I say receiver help, our receivers are good, but I feel like all four of them, being Watson, Romeo Dubs, Jaden Reed, and Dontayvion Wicks, all three of them are would be good twos. We don't have like a real one.
I've just been saying y'all need a one.
Um,
Hey, you better go start talking T. Higgins.
that could help. I also heard Tay talking about coming back. I think the problem with that is that that's not long term. I think he'll be good. Like if he were to come back this offseason, I think he'll be good next year. But he don't got too much left in the tank.
I don't think he need to go back at all. And the only reason I say that, I just don't think. Excuse me. I think Jordan Love is just not good for him. Y'all gonna have Tay out there frustrated.
Maybe I could see that. But yeah, whatever the case may be, we need like a real number one. Outside of that, I mean,
Tay need to go somewhere. Tay need to go somewhere and get him a ring. I think, because to be real, I think Tay went to the Jets just so he can be back happy.
Yeah, I mean, to an extent, yes. But also, the Jets' expectations were much higher than what they actually did.
Not when he got there.
I think he thought they were going to turn it around with him. I think that's what they thought.
I love Devontae, but hey, that man, he's not delusional. You ever watched the? Have you watched the receiver documentary on Netflix yet? Okay, to give you some context, when he played A-Rod and them, when he was still on the Raiders, him and A-Rod went out to dinner the night before the game.
Okay.
During pregame, that's how everybody started speculating he was going back to the Jets. Because he went into A-Rod ear and he was mic'd up. So, they were doing this on purpose.
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate you going out with me last night. You don't know how much that done for me. Because he was mentally messed up. He was getting knocked around like a rag dog because the hospital balls they was throwing, and he had no quarterback. So he was like, hey, bro, I was mentally messed up. Appreciate you going out.
Yeah, I think I mean, for sure, I think that was number one, was the fact that he was getting back with A-Rod. I don't really know where. Maybe Buffalo. Maybe Buffalo.
I agree, but I don't think that's Buffalo's biggest problem. They need to go get defense.
Okay, that's true. But I'm just saying from a standpoint of if
as in winning, yes. But Buffalo if he goes there, yes. But he needs they need defense. Now if they need defense so badly, then I would agree to go. Maybe they should go for Tay, to be honest.
Yeah.
I wonder what a cap space looking like.
I mean, it can't be that crazy because I don't think they're paying anybody anything crazy besides Josh.
Yeah, I don't think nobody has anything crazy out of the world.
Yeah. Because, I mean, Tre'Davious White was good in his heyday. He's not there anymore.
He's with the Ravens, right?
Yeah. Obviously, Davis and Diggs both left to go get paid. Like, I don't think.
What's do you know what Amari Cooper deal is?
I don't think it's anything crazy anymore, but I can look it up. And this might be the last year of his contract. But let me see. He makes he makes $20 million a year. That's not.
How much Josh makes since you right there on the computer?
Josh probably makes like 55, but let me see. He makes whatever. Okay, he makes like 43 a year. 6 years, 258.
Okay. This just came to my thought because we're talking about money now. Your boy also overpaid. Man,
Jordan?
yes.
Oh no, I agree with that. I mean, when we had the conversation, back before the season started, I was saying that I thought 30 was too high and I wouldn't have paid
Yeah,
him.
you saying quarterbacks are overpaid anyway.
Yeah, so I'm not arguing that. But like I don't know. It's like, okay, this is my thing with Jordan Love. We got like too excited because
Oh, don't say we.
I'm talking about like the Packers.
Oh, okay. I never hopped that train.
Nah, I feel like we got like too excited because the amount of success that he had that quickly. Like, to be your first year, you go, you beat Dallas, you compete with San Fran, you know, go toe to toe with them. So we kind of had this thing like, oh yeah, he's gonna do that every year, but that's just kind of unrealistic. But I mean, I get it, but
my thing is, it's like people forget the bad somebody had in the beginning of the year. Like it's just completely gone.
yeah, no, that like the beginning of last year was actually like bad. Like I remember we lost to y'all, we lost to the Falcons. It was like,
And when y'all lost to the Falcons, you was on suicide watch. you was done with the Packers. So that's why I was genuinely so confused by Packer fan. Cause the beginning of the season, y'all was on suicide watch. Y'all was saying bump the Packers. So when they started winning, y'all was all hippie ki and everything. That's my thing. Like, it's different when you're playing mid and you can win. Like how you talk about the Detroit Pistons. They're playing great ball, but just not winning.
right.
If they would have played great ball, not winning, and started
Yeah,
to win,
Jordan Love was playing like bad. Like,
yeah, it would have been different because they wasn't playing like terrible, just weren't winning. Y'all was losing and playing bad. That was the problem was with the Packers, and then all of a sudden y'all just believe y'all can go to the NFC Championship.
yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, like I said, it's really on Jordan Love to stop turning the ball over so much and crucial moments. If he can do that, we should be good. Should be good. But that Loki, that might be a tough ask for him because he that's what he does in the playoffs. That's what he does.
That is what he does. But last conversation, Kobe went off course, which not really that much. Raiders hiring Pete Carroll.
Okay. I think that I think Pete can still. I think he's still going to be one of the better coaches in the league. But I think even more so than the coach, I think it's about who they get at quarterback more so than anything else. Because to me, the Raiders have never been that bad. Like in comparison to like the Titans and like the Giants, I think they're like above them. So I think that whoever their quarterback is the main thing. Personally, I wouldn't have even fired Antonio Pierce, but I mean they did. I think Pete Carroll is a great person to bring in. I think Pete Carroll has always, whether it's college or the NFL, he's always been a great coach. So yeah, I think the key now is draft a quarterback and just let Pete do his thing. Like I wouldn't, I trust Pete to call the shots. But yeah, it's really on the quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. I think Pete still can coach. I think Pete is a great mind, and at that age, Pete has a lot of energy. So I think that's the Raiders. Will boost them. But you got any more thoughts, bro?
Nah, man. Like I said, just I want to see my homeboy 3-peat. I ain't gonna lie. Like I want to see it. I want to see Saquon win too, but I want to see a 3-peat. I ain't gonna lie.
For sure. Hey man, I appreciate you joining, bro. Hey, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Make sure I go subscribe to Miles MKS World. Correct, that's the right one. MKS World. And I appreciate y'all. Peace.